Welcome to ChessBase Magazine 173. The top tournaments of this issue are the European Individual Championship in Jakova, which was won by Ernesto Inakiev, who has also annotated one game for the ChessBase Magazine. We will see in the next example. But, of course, as usual, I had to delete almost all annotations due to the space format of the video. But on the DVD, they are all there. The Gashimov Memorial in Shamkir, which was won by Shahryar Mamedyarov. And two tournaments from the Grand Chess Tour, Rapid and Blitz. Paris, which was won by Hikaru Nakamura. And Leuven, where world champion Magnus Carlsen became first. And Peter Heine Nielsen has annotated his win against Viswanathan Anand. Why to move, what to do. And it's a good example for their endgame guideline that in endgames with rooks and knight, slight initiative weighs heavily. After rook d8, black is almost in Zugzwang. And these endgames don't have such a large drawish tendency as pure rook endgames or double rook endgames. The presence of knights really gives the attacker much better chances to win. Yeah, black is almost in Zugzwang. Vichy, Anand tried g6, but Magnus just took and rook d6. And yeah, it's black is almost paralyzed here, and Magnus Carlsen went on to win. These technical positions are really his home ground. Nobody can defend here against him, I guess. Yeah, but black is almost bound hand and foot, and the presence of knights really makes a very big difference to a pure rook endgame. Yeah, what can black do? Yeah, nothing really. So Vichy played rook e8, and after knight takes b7, resigned. A very strong performance by world champion Magnus Carlsen. Yeah, as promised, one game by Ernesto Inakiev against Dmitry Svetushkin. Why to move? Okay, this is much deeper, of course. Black's bishop d8 is a very good defender of the weak dark squares, so it makes sense to go into the details, and Ernesto Inakiev calculated that white always wins, as he also gives in his annotations, and now queen g5, king h1, and yeah, white's attack crashes through, as you can also see in Inakiev's annotations on the DVD. There are opening videos, one by Alexei Shirov on the Catalan, one by Michael Marin on the Nimzo Indian, and finally one by Andrew Martin on the Najdorf with queen e2 in the sixth move. And 13 opening surveys in traditional format. I want to look at three in slightly more detail, or I want to mention three as explicitly. Martin Bräutigam looks at a way for white in the following opening: c4, and often black now plays d4 to avoid white's d4, b4. Yeah, an original opening which now has established itself. Black has several tries. f6 is one of the most popular options, and the article is now on knight a3. The knight moves to the rim. It looks slightly odd at first place, but it has a point. The knight often goes to c2, and then we get a Volga type of position, and white can claim a slight initiative, I think, in usual style, and Bräutigam thinks that in Hila Persson Tikkanen, white was slightly better until the 19th move, when white could play 19, the knight to the corner to a1. So yeah, knight a3 might be an interesting original option for white to add some spice to his opening concept. Robert Riss looks at an aggressive way in the Vienna of the Queen's Gambit. Yeah, there are many move orders, of course. Here in the beginning, it could be reached by many move orders, and now taking here, and Riss looks at the most principled way for white, the gambit e4, most aggressive move. And now just takes the c4 and sacrifice the e-pawn, the starting position of the sharp gambit. Black can now take on c3 or go back, and it looks at all options from here on, or major options, and concludes that it might be possible that with computer defense Black can hold, but over the board it's really extremely dangerous to defend against white's strong initiative, reminiscent of the old romantic games of the gambits in the e4 openings. But yeah, here it's no. Yeah, but this should be objectively correct and give white adequate, dangerous compensation, as Riz proves in his article. And here Riz Kozuba from the Dubai Open 2016 is one of the critical lines, which was also played in Ardan Giri, for example. But as usual, I had to delete many of Riz annotations due to the space limitations. And last but not least, Valentin Yotov looks at a concept for Black against c4, e5, and now d6 and f5. Some kind of classical Dutch in a slightly improved format, maybe with e5 in one move. And yeah, this could be interesting, as in Elian of Brunello. d4 is often answered by e4. And then also c6 is typical setup for Black. And yeah, knight g4 is also interesting. Yotov looks at it in more detail. h6 was played in the game, knight d7, and now b3, bishop b2, and white might be slightly better due to the space advantage. But after f3, Black could have played queen b6 check with good counterplay. And yeah, this might be an interesting option for Black against c4, leading to slightly non-standard positions in many cases. And Yotov looks at all this, starting with the setup in deep detail. Next are the columns. Simon Williams looks in move by move at the game Karana Korchnoi, Gibraltar 2011, and pays tribute to the great Viktor Korchnoi, who passed away sadly recently. It was a Roy Lopez opening. I look at rook endings in the endgame section, and yeah, they all occur quite often, and you should be familiar with several important motives, so study them. Oliver Ray looks at wonderful knights in his tactic column. Rosenthal is Rydström, Stockholm 2016. Yeah, white to move and win, but go deeper into it, not to end up with a nightmare. But with bishop takes x6, you end up with a knight fork and not a nightmare. Or after f5, you pin and win, and Rydström resigned. And really solve all the exercises yourself first. Tactics are really extremely important. Keep your eye sharp there. Michael Marin looks at the positional piece sacrifice. Material is only one factor of the evaluation of chess, of course. And I always like how he manages to connect the great games from the past with modern examples, here even one by himself. First, Averbach Panov, Championship of the Soviet Union, Moscow 1948. White to move and win. Okay, knowing the theme, it's not so difficult anymore. Knight takes b7 was Arne Averbach's blow. b6 and queen a7, and white has more than enough compensation for the piece, as the b6 pawn is extremely strong and Black has not enough space for his bishops, and Averbach went on to win. And in Marine, Espinosa Aranda, Benasque 2009, he managed to do it in similar fashion with bishop a6 and queen c7. And really, sometimes knights can really look helpless. King b4 and the amazing Of course, the knight should not break free, so king a3. No knight forks here, just knight mares for black, and Marine went on to win. Yeah, and really look at this, because yeah, it is important sometimes also to sacrifice material to achieve other positional aims. Last not least, the opening trap section by Rainer Knag. He lists many traps, also connecting to articles he had written in old ChessBase magazines, but also fresh new traps, and I selected Garcia Kofalvi, Coimbra 2016. Black sets the trap, knight f6. Okay, white can now try other moves, like c4, but d4 is main option. Here knight b6 is theoretical main line, and knight b4 is a trap move. It's already looking a bit... well. White has several ways, as given by Rainer Knag, but queen a4 check is perfectly playable. But the question I have for you, is d5 now good and bad? And if d5 is bad, how does black answer it? And this really is a deep trap where many white players have already fallen into. So look, find it yourself first, look a bit deeper, and only then look at the solution by Rainer Knag on the DVD. And now I wish you a lot of fun with Chess Magazine 173.